So the next part of things is we're going to do the enterprise deployment. So I grab the link, and you're going to do this little custom deployment. And I've done it before, but I'll just redo it just for fun. So I'm going to pick my resource group, my company name in. Now you can just let trial be in here for now, that's okay. So now you're going to go back and you're going to grab that client ID that you saved earlier. Pop that into registration GUID. Grab your secret, pop that in there. And now these things are actually really whatever you want to name these, and so we're going to call this SCEPMan Vault. That's right. So we're going to call these things whatever we want to call them there, which is all good. And now we're going to click Create, and it'll start out that deployment. I'm going to pause this here while it finishes. So our deployment's done, so why don't we check out and see what it's done. I think that's the really interesting thing about this, just so you can get an idea of what it did. So you can see here it created a key vault, which is where it's going to store all those secrets, which is really important. But let's step it back. As I was saying, sometimes it just fails. So we click Browse, and so you can see here, as you can see it's up. So you can see here it's up here now, and you notice that you're seeing a lot of failed, and it's because you haven't created that root cert yet. So you're going to click this button here to create it'll create that initial root cert for your CA. And you hit OK, create first node, and so it's gonna spin that node up for you. So you can see here, once you've done that, now it shows it's all up and running. Things are in great shape, and then you've got yourself a lot further to being in a good spot here. Another thing to check out is the custom domain section, which we're not going to set it up here, but I'll show you how it's set in my production environment. This is where you would actually go and rename the domain, because it has a base domain, as you can see here. It has this Azure Websites, but if you want to use your own domain, it's actually relatively easy. You end up hitting Add Custom Domain, and you'll actually go in and you'll validate it. And so if I actually click and so this particular one already exists. I've already got this set up in my environment, but basically you go in, you'll add that, and then you have to actually add in some public DNS records like the TXT and stuff like that. And then once you do that, it's able to actually claim it. And then from there, and like I said, this is an optional step depending on what you want to do. And then from there, you'll end up essentially having it create the Ssl certificate, which is really not a big deal. And let's take a look at that real quick in my production environment. So under custom domain, you see I've already grabbed and associated that, which is, like I said, you can see and I'm using, server name indicators and all that good stuff. And so you can see how that really kind of puts itself into a really good setup. Because then I'll move on to TLS-SSL, and you can see here how I've had it create an SSL certificate for me. And that just kind of gives you an idea of like that one little extra step that you can take to really, build that out and kind of get it into a really good spot. And then from here, we can do other stuff too, like you can deploy, manual service accounts and stuff like that. But when we get back, the last thing we'll talk about is how we set it up for Workspace ONE.